Welcome back to The Explainer, where we break down the big topics into guides you can actually use. Today, we are getting right into it, talking about something called CMMC Level 1. So, are you doing business with the U.S. Department of Defense? Or maybe you want to? Well, if that's you, there's a really important cybersecurity standard you have to know about. Honestly, it's the key to getting and keeping those contracts. And yeah, I know, CMMC, it sounds super technical, right? But stick with me. In this explainer, we're going to turn this whole thing from a potential headache into a totally doable mission for your business. All right, so let's jump right in. Before we get into the how, we really need to understand the what. I mean, what is the actual information we're supposed to be protecting here? That's the core of it all. Okay, so CMMC Level 1 is basically a self-assessment, and it's all about protecting something called Federal Contract Information, or FCI. Now, those are the two phrases you're going to want to burn into your memory: self-assessment and FCI. Everything, and I mean everything, for Level 1 is built on that foundation. So what is FCI? It's pretty simple, actually. If the government gives you information for a contract, and it's not stuff that's supposed to be plastered all over the internet for everyone to see, boom, that's FCI. That is the data we're talking about protecting. Okay, so you know what you need to protect, but where is it? Before you can defend anything, you gotta know the lay of the land, right? This is what we call scoping. Think of it like you're literally drawing the map of your digital battlefield. And it's really a simple in or out question. If a computer, a server, an employee's laptop, heck, even a paper file, if it processes, stores, or transmits that FCI we talked about, it's in scope. It's on the battlefield. If it has absolutely nothing to do with that government data, it's out of scope. You don't have to worry about it for this assessment. See? Simple. And you know what? There's some good news here. The government knows that not everything needs to be locked down in the same way. So certain specialized assets are just excluded. We're talking about things like your factory's operational tech, specific test equipment, or maybe even gear the government gave you to use. You can set those aside for this. So what's the game plan? It all comes down to just 15 requirements. That's it. Not 1,000, not 100, just 15. This is your security playbook. And if you follow these 15 basic safeguarding rules, you're golden. All right, let's open up that playbook. Part 1 is all about access control and identity. This is the who. Who gets the keys to the kingdom? Who's allowed in? And what exactly are they allowed to do once they're there? And this is really cyber hygiene 101. I mean, it's the basics. Everybody gets their own unique ID. No sharing passwords, people. You make sure they are who they say they are with a password. And this is a big one. You only give them access to the stuff they absolutely need for their job. Nothing more, nothing less. So that covers the digital side of who. But that leads us right into part 2 of the playbook because, cybersecurity isn't just about what's on the screen. It's also about physical stuff, the actual computers, the servers. Where does this data physically live? And I love this point from the official guidance because it makes it so real. It's literally about working with your facilities manager to put locks on doors. See? It's not some abstract digital concept. It's a real-world practical step. Lock the server room. That's a core requirement. So what does that look like? Well, it means you control who can physically get into your space. You've got to escort visitors, you've got to keep a log of who's coming and going. And this is so important. When you get rid of an old computer or a hard drive, you have to completely sanitize it or, physically destroy it. The last thing you want is for someone to pull your FCII out of a dumpster. Okay, so we've covered the who and the where. The final piece of the puzzle, part 3 of our playbook, is all about the systems themselves. This is the how. How do we keep our technology healthy and defended against attacks? Think of this as building an immune system for your network. And again, this is stuff you're probably already familiar with. It's about putting up that digital fence, a firewall, around your network. It's about actually installing those software updates that pop up on your screen. You know the ones I'm talking about. And, of course, running good, up-to-date anti-malware software to catch viruses. Basic, but absolutely critical. Okay, so you've gone through the playbook, you've put all 15 of these safeguards in place. Fantastic. But you're not quite at the finish line yet. Now comes the part where you actually have to do that self-assessment and officially report your status to the government. So how do you check your own work? It's a 3-step process. First, you examine. You look at your policies, your documents, your system settings. Second, you interview. You talk to your people and ask them how they do things. And third, you test. You actually try to do something to make sure a security control works like it's supposed to. And for every single one of those 15 requirements, you're going to give yourself a score. Either you met it, it's not met, or it's not applicable. Maybe that one just doesn't apply to your business. The goal here is simple. To pass, you need to be able to say met or NA for all 15. No not mets allowed. And this is it. The final step. The whole point of the exercise. You take that final score and you officially enter it into the government's database, which is called SPRS. Once you do that, you're officially on the list. You're eligible to be awarded those government contracts. That's the payoff. You know, when you boil it all down, CMMC Level 1 isn't asking you to build some kind of impenetrable fortress. It's not Fort Knox. The whole point is to establish a baseline, a fundamental level of cyber hygiene. It's an achievable standard designed to make sure that every single contractor, big or small, has the basics covered. So the question really is your basic cyber hygiene ready? Because by following this roadmap, this playbook we've walked through, you can absolutely turn what seems like a really complex compliance headache into a clear, straightforward path. A path to securing your business, and most importantly, a path to winning and keeping those valuable government partnerships.